Hello. Most of you will know Tim is from Vancouver, Canada, and has been a seminal artist in the electronic ambient music field, working first under the name of Jeton since 2000, and then in 2001 he released his first solo album. And since then he has had 8 solo albums and has performed in a variety of spaces, from obscure churches around the world to Madison Square Garden for God knows how many thousands. And here we have him here today in Istanbul. Very happy to have you here at such a strange tectonic shift time where sort of it induces soul search. And we're looking forward to your performance tonight.
Thank you very much.
And I was wondering, what do you think is the elephant in the room generally in regards to performing to crowds?
The elephant in the room, I guess, is like kind of the concept of liveness and like whether, like how that matters anymore, and what that means to different people when they leave the house and what they expect.
Yeah.
It's like such a wide variety of like expectations, from like the idea of someone actually performing something like an instrument to like people that want a sensory experience. That you can't really cater to everybody, and you ultimately just have to do things that kind of nurture your own expressive needs, ultimately, to create a situation that's unique, hopefully. And whether that's through acoustics, whether that's through light, whether that's through light and sound, whatever.
Do you have any such memorable experiences having performed in a specific space that was most special for you?
I mean, like every space is different. It like really depends on the kind of acoustics, the kind of PA amplification system. It depends on the type of people that run the space. Churches can be like really different, whether they're like very orthodox and conservative, or played in LGBT, like super queer Anglican churches that are like rave kind of films. It really depends.
Yeah. Do you? Well, I mean, I was thinking that Bruce Nauman said that the true artist helps the world by revealing mystic truths, and I feel like I have had almost these like disassociative experiences listening to your music, and I wonder how much of that idea you have when you're making it.
I would say it's not like an active concept. That's just like a happy effect that comes out of it. I think that you can't really have that aim ultimately.
Yeah.
I think like ideally like that's some end point, but I think that you have to accept that you can't always attain that, or that's really fortunate if it happens. But it's like I just kind of like work with the inner voice, which is my own enemy, sometimes my friend, but sometimes it yields like musical fruit. And yeah, I would say like in terms of performance, it's like mystical, maybe might not be the right word, but just like weird spaces that like I would personally want to go to. Like I would want to, smoke some pot and leave the house for, or something. And I don't know, I hope that like resonates. It's not always possible in festival context where it's kind of like almost like a treadmill type of entertainment situation. It's harder to get your own bespoke kind of creative expression, given the limitations of short sound checks and things like that.
Yeah. And you work a lot with fog and the obstruction of our visual field in your performances. How much of that induces similar effects?
Yeah, I think that that's one way to get to like an obfuscation of like vision and like clarity and rationality through cutting off the eyes. Like our eyes are these like incredible antennas for so many things, but they also short circuit your ability to like have other sensual experience and things like that. And once you do that through like blurring out vision, like the ears become richer, sounds become deeper, everything kind of amplifies a little bit.
Yeah. anything else but fog in trying to do that, in like absolute darkness, for instance?
Like pitch black is like another path to that. I mean, bright lights. I've seen people use like strobes to the similar effect where you can't see anything, and then it just becomes some kind of paralysis. And I think that darkness and like for me, fog and haze both like create.
And have you had similar experiences in nature, for instance, without special effects? Like you get inspired by, I don't know, by nature a lot, and
yeah, like not like this kind of nature, you know.
Yeah, this nature.
But like other kinds of nature, like staring at lichens or moss really focused, or weird strata of landscape that gives you a weird feeling. But yes, definitely.
And I know that you have been thinking and writing a lot about volume. What do you think about volume as a medium?
I mean, I'm thinking about the stupid bass in this room right now, and how it like short-circuits your ability to think. I apologize for that. I would say that sound like can jar your brain and make it difficult to think and sleep and breathe properly. I mean, I think that volume can also amplify like emotional experiences when you crank it really loud. And I tend to use sonic force as a kind of like compositional end in how I present music live, for sure.
Yeah. And is that what was interesting about pipe organs, and like was it the sheer like volume that they can produce? That's.
I mean, yeah, like I got into pipe organs because I was writing a book on, or some research on pipe organs in the turn of the 20th century. But for me, I kind of came back around it because of its religious connotations. The fact that it was like the tones, these kind of hollow, resonating tones, amplified like the voice of God, and I wanted to like kind of play with that while stripping out the religious transcendence out of the organ itself in some way,
Yeah. Are any contemporary artists working with similar ideas?
There's lots. I mean, I'm just like one of many that have like worked with the pipe organ in interesting ways, from Messiaen down through like Kevin Drum, who's like a noise artist. Those were my kind of bearings when we started, but yes, for sure.
Are there like three artists or albums that you like that are permanently on your iPhone or that you would be listening to?
No, I just swipe my iPhone clean of anything. Like I just had like kind of the bottomy of acoustics, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm starting with zero. It would probably not be pipe organ based. It would be like slow dive or something from when I was like 21, and like it just stayed ever since.
Do you use Shazam?
No, yes, sometimes I do actually. It's like amazing. But like, real music nerds, like that stuff's un-Shazamable. It's like really tries to evade the Shazam system. But I think that Shazam is probably gonna encapsulate every audio boomer ever recorded at some point. I don't know. Is it possible to turn off the bass in this room? It's like insane. Can somebody turn? Oh, okay.
But is there any pop music that sometimes you find interesting or ahead of its time?
Yeah, of course. I feel like pop music chromatically and harmonically is like retreating back to like pre-minimalism, to this place of like reductive. I don't find like harmony is like very evolved. Like right now it's usually like Ableton 4-bar loops. Like no diss to Ableton here, but like just really short, repetitive melodies that I don't find flourish enough in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, it's just like, I always find like sublime frequencies and like the kind of, just the catalog of weird pop in the world that's like beyond Western is far more influential than, the current pipeline of LA-based pop factories.
Yeah. How do you enjoy living in LA?
I do. It's really great. It's like weird, mystical, and strange. For
Do you go to sound baths?
I have not gone to a sound bath. I have a few bowls at home, but not. Yeah.
Do you meditate?
I want to meditate more than I do, and I do occasionally do this type of practice where you're imagine falling into the middle of the earth. It's called earth descent.
Okay.
It's almost like dying. Like it's like you feel like you're going 6 feet down, but then you keep going thousands of feet. But yeah, meditation is like an ideal that I really need to pick up like right away.
And do you listen to these like harmonic frequencies while you are doing that?
I think it's like lobotomy again. I think it's just kind of like pulling out sound in some ways. Like you start hearing your ears ringing. You start like noticing your nervous system in some ways.
Yeah.
That it's like pulsing so quick, and it almost has like a sound to it. Like John Cage went into, I think it was like Harvard's anechoic chamber, and he noted like the only sound was like his own central nervous system kind of firing. And it's like there is a noise to that, you know.
Yeah. And so do you actually listen to music like at your home in high volume, for instance? I just still want to understand how you consume sound in your private environment.
High volume? No. Generally no.
No?
I would say like, I save it for my studio that like I turn things up really loud to feel it, and then I start to like drug myself out and I can't believe it after a while, so I have to turn it down really quiet,
Yeah.
and then I try to listen to it kind of passively.
But going back to the spaces where you perform in, is like, what sort of space would you design if you could like think of an ideal environment where you would perform, or how this sort of music would be experienced?
I like black boxes generally because they're like stripped of any type of religious vestiges or traces of flushed out of meaning. And a black box with a very powerful quad surround sound system is ideal generally. I've been doing concerts where you have a full surround sound type of setup, and you have like lights that circle, and there's
Yeah.
no beginning, no end, no front, no back, and it becomes just a room, which is like a sound bath in some ways.
Do you find certain audiences more willing to take in, or like being more open
Yes.
to, I don't know, let's say like a more act of disappearance, or
Yes, some places have like the audiences have this easiness with like the lack of performance, or the kind of like sidestep of the traditional person presenting music for the kind of people.
yeah,
And some people are really disappointed by it. You know, they like are really feel like they've been taken for a ruse. You know, they've had their money taken away and they expected to see someone play a keyboard guitar or something. I generally feel that like I don't cater to that, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, I just want people to turn in on the sound, and I want the sonic experience to be amplified. That for me is thwarted by the kind of legacy of the performer, the kind of simple, gangly person that's not very athletic and turns knobs all day. It's like not a compelling thing. It's not like. I just think that what matters is the richness and intensity of the PA system that lights up like fireflies or something. And the experience from that is hindered by the kind of ego of the kind of performer and its need for love and reflection and feedback. So I try to like thwart that in some ways through various ways of making it less about that.
questions?
People normally use rhythms to add time domain their music. What is the perception of time for you in music?
That's a good question. I have some weird meter in my own mind, but it's like a lot of a deeper time. I think it's about like I started doing the music I made techno in like from like 2000, 2002, and I was like kind of limited by the grid and the kind of anchor of things. I wanted to blow it open into a deeper time, and so I still have a meter, but it's a lot slower, and it's about motifs returning. Sometimes I'll work with pulsation or like pulses, but I intentionally have it like out of time, everything out of sync, everything falling in on itself. Generally, if everything locks up, I just need something. Your brain encodes it really quick, and that kind of things being out of sync have this kind of charisma that I can't express. That I'm always fighting in how I make music and the types of ways I use. That I think a lot of software and technology, like this room's probably filled with it, that encourages you to be on this militant, metronomic kind of despotism, fashion, whatever you want to call it, that I feel is like really important to fight. What? I'd have to revert to my horoscope, which is Cancer. So I'm like naturally below the sea, and the crab shell just. So I'd have to go ocean. Thank you very much.
Thank you.